Hi everybody, welcome to the Daily Shift with Kassandra. I'm Kassandra Von Worsley. We are talking, this is the second Daily Shift this week. The Daily Shift happens every Monday and Thursday, somewhere in the ballpark of 4:30 p.m. Mountain, 6:30 p.m. Eastern. Because I do an FB Live right before this in my private Facebook group for entrepreneurs. So if you are an aspiring entrepreneur or you are an entrepreneur and you want to develop, activate your inner badass, fire that inner critic so you can finally build your business, you certainly want to join us in that community. I do FB Live trainings every single day in that community. And that's at facebook.com/groups/fire your inner critic. Okay, the Daily Shift. I'm continuing this discussion because I just talked about it in the Fire Your Inner Critic community on Facebook. I want to talk today about something that so many people struggle with. In certain arenas, I struggle with it. In other arenas, I don't. Like business, I don't struggle with this. But in life, yeah, there are certain arenas where I struggle with this. The power of saying no. Do you struggle with telling people no? Or if you say no, do you feel guilty every time you tell people no? You know, people pleaser comes in all shapes and sizes. It took me a really long time to realize how much of a people pleaser I actually was. I spent most of my life thinking I wasn't a people pleaser, and then I woke up somewhere in my 30s and I was like, man, I've been people pleasing for like 2 decades straight. People pleasing comes in all forms, shapes, and sizes. Some people please in the form of being a human doormat, so they never say no. They say yes to everything. They drop what they're doing in their priorities to accommodate other people. But a lot of us don't go that far. We don't do the human doormat thing. We people please in subtle ways. You know, we change certain things about ourselves. We censor what we say or what we do around certain people. So the first thing I want you to know before we get into the power of saying no is that you want to really look at what are the ways or what are the arenas or areas of my life where I actually do people please, either a little or under certain circumstances or with certain people. Where am I people pleasing? Because we all people please at some point in our lives or another. And so the first thing you want to be aware of is some self-awareness around where am I people pleasing? Where am I changing either who I am or what I say or what I do to try to fit the model or the paradigm or the idea of what other people expect of me. You know, living up to other people's expectations is a form of people pleasing. So you want to look at that. Now here's what we're going to talk about today. The power of saying no. It took me a super long time to figure out that no is a 2-letter word that does not require explanation, defense, or debate. It took me a long time to figure it out. So what we're going to talk about today in the Daily Shift is the power of saying no. And no is really important because here's the thing I need you to understand. If you don't own your no, life will own it for you. Let me say that again. If you don't own your no, life will own it for you. What do I mean? In life, and most of us coaches, we say this in general because it's true. In life, every yes is a no and every no is a yes. So even if you are a people pleaser to the nth degree and you never say no to anybody, here's what I need you to understand. Every time you say yes to something, you are in fact saying no to something else, even if the word doesn't come out of your mouth. Every yes is a no and every no is a yes, period. So you might think that you're saying yes to everybody else, which also means you're probably saying no to some of the biggest priorities of your own life. You're still saying no to you. So every yes is a no and every no is a yes. And here's the thing. Most people say yes before they've even considered the impact of the yes. Before they've even considered, if I say yes to this, what am I saying no to? You know, I've gotten super non-committal with lots of things in the last 5 years because I understand the power of my yes and I understand the power of the no's that come along with the yeses that I give. So when people ask me to do stuff, I always say I'll consider it. But I take quite a bit of time considering stuff because every yes is a no and every no is a yes. So start to be more conscious before you give anybody a yes of what you're saying no to. And if you've given yeses that really should have been no's, here's my thing about that. If it really should have been a no, it's not going to serve me to continue with that yes with that person because A, I'm doing it based on obligation, and with obligation, always comes resentment. Always, which means then I'm not going to be fully present when I do the thing I said I would do. Then I'm going to, kind of resent you because it should have been a no, but you sort of talked me into a yes, and I feel like I'm forced and coerced. Yeah, I don't play that game any longer. The reality is if you give somebody a yes that really should have been a no, and you can give them at least, ample time given the situation to figure their stuff out, go back to that person and say, you know what, I thought about it. That really should have been a no. I'm really, that's not for me. And I trust that you'll figure it out. And I know you will. I'll even help you figure it out, but that's a no. So remember, every yes is a no, every no is a yes. Here's the thing I want you to understand. The more exceptional of a life you want to create, the more you will have to say no. This is really, really important. The bigger you want your life to be, the more powerful you want your life to be, the more exceptional you want your life to be, the more you're going to have to get not even comfortable. It doesn't matter if you're comfortable. The more you're going to have to say no. Because exceptional lives require laser focus. An exceptional life requires laser focus. And when you have laser focus, guess what? That means you are saying no to like 98% of the things, and you're saying yes to 2%, which means you're giving a lot of no's. So just keep that in mind. Final thing I'm going to say on the daily shift, the power of saying no. I love this quote because if you don't think that all of the yeses that you're giving to things that don't really matter in the long run, all of the yeses that you're giving to people please with other people in the long run doesn't affect the rest of your life, here's the quote I want you to think about the next time you get ready to say yes to somebody when you know you should say no. 10 years from now, make sure you can say that you chose your life. You didn't settle for it. 10 years from now, make sure you can say that you chose your life. You didn't settle for it. If you're always saying yes to people and things, if you're saying no to yourself constantly, if you're not putting your priorities in place, if you're not approaching creating an exceptional life with laser focus, and you're just seesawing to whatever people want you to do, I can say with about 99.999% certainty that 10 years from now, you're going to look back and you're going to see that you settled for your life. You didn't choose it. You didn't choose it. And that's an awful position to be in. And we've all been there in one decade or the other. So all I'm saying is none of us are getting any younger. None of us we're not promised tomorrow. So since we're not getting any younger, we're the youngest we'll ever be in this moment, and none of us are promised tomorrow, why would you waste even a second of it saying yes to things that do not reflect your life's priorities, that do not reflect what value you have in the world and what is of value to you, that do not reflect what your mission is on this planet? Start to say no, because at the end of the day, even if you never say that one word to other people, you're saying no to something. And you might be saying no to the things that could create an exceptional life for you. Make sure you're not doing that. All right, everybody, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see these daily shifts every Monday and Thursday around 4:30ish at facebook.com/group. Oh, facebook.com/Kassandra Vaughn MBA. See, I get it right most times, but facebook.com/Kassandra Vaughn MBA. All right, I will catch you guys next week for another episode of the Daily Shift. See you later.